She said, promise me nothing's gonna change, cause honestly I've been on my brain like constantly. I've been going on my way. She said I've been going on my way just to try us, and told me I'm so down to earth like what you thought it was. And I'm really starting to think I'm coming undone. Starting to lose a feeling every single time we touch. Can I get a warning before you switch on me? Or can you tell me to my face that you don't want me? This shit been waiting on me and I feel like concrete. But lately it been seeming like I know you hardly. You good at talking shit when I'm saying sorry. And I don't think for real that you would be my shorty. And when I go around your friends, they always looking salty. And if I walk away, then they gon' diss me probably. You're not loving me no more, I'm just a losing. I just wanna know who you think you fooling. Heartbreak hotel, I'm about to moving. She said, promise me nothing's gonna change, cause honestly I've been on my brain like constantly. I've been going on my way. She said I've been going on my way just to try us, and told me I'm so down to earth like what you thought it was. And I'm really starting to think I'm coming undone. Starting to lose a feeling every single time we touch. All these bitches play too much and that's the issue. I can't fuck with none of them, man, I can't pretend to. And how you going ghost after everything we've been through? I'm sending SOS cause I don't get the signals. I'm looking up and I can't use an angel. I wish we could go back to being strangers. I know that you're going through stages. I'm beginning to think we toxic and I'm dangerous. You're not loving me no more, I'm just a losing. I just wanna know who you think you're fooling. Heartbreak hotel, I'm out of moving. She said, promise me nothing's gonna change, cause honestly I've been on my brain like constantly. I've been going on my way. She said I've been going on my way just to try us, and told me I'm so down to earth like what you thought it was. And I'm really starting to think I'm coming undone. Starting to lose a feeling every single time we touch. This is the emergency broadcast system. The CDC is advising that you stay in your home. We show up. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party. 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 We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party. We show up in the party. We show up in the party. We show up in the party.
How we doing today, guys? All right, I'm ready to roll. How you feeling? Yeah, that's definitely going to be a advantage to have in a game like this. Both teams looking very strong. Both going to be definitely confident in each other, and at the very least, I don't think we're going to see a boring game. To say that. I think it's probably going to be experience because I think Regain has had a lot of experience outside of this. I know they've taken on a lot of very popular NA teams in the previous, like us Red and all, a lot of teams like those. So they definitely have proven themselves at least, and will definitely be, probably even over prepared for tonight at least. But
Yeah, actually. I mean, hey, being overprepared is not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you don't want to get too overconfident, but being overprepared is a pretty good thing. But on the other side of things, Redacted Society, they pulled 3-5 in the regular season for ESEA, not making it to playoffs, and they have gone through a bit more of a roster change in total, bringing in Hibui and so sorry for my pronunciation, Sakir, I think. I think that's how you pronounce it, their name.
your guess is as good as mine.
Well, we gotta cast this, man. But yeah, so these two players now into their regular roster lineup for this matchup. So they have, so there is there going to be a little bit more of a different talking point for how they are going to be involved with this Redacted Society lineup. Of course, they didn't have the exact promising start that they wanted to for season 55, hence why they have the roster changes. By coming into Crossfire right off the start, I feel like this team could actually produce something going into this match. And I feel this is a big talking point in how they're going to really devise their plans from now on, how they're going to really pull their strats going into season 56 with VRS enabled, as well as the end of this Crossfire season.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a time to prove themselves, and because this is not going to be an easy opponent, but at all. So I think this is definitely going to be a very good, testing ground to see what they can do, and to see, what sort of their floor or ceiling is going to be with this team. So just excited overall to see this matchup load out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be very interesting in total for the end of the for this game specifically. Obviously, we said before that they didn't have a chance to play against each other. I feel that would have been a much different story than what it is going to be today, considering all the roster changes. But I want to say that this is still mostly the same core lineups between these two teams going into this fight, and I want to be able to see some of the same strats that they would normally pull off from each other, from each team that they've faced in the past, but also want to be able to see something new, bringing in these new bloods into their roster.
Yeah, I mean, the good part for Redacted Society is they're gonna have a lot of tape on this regain team. These players have played a lot of games
Mm,
previously, so if anything, I think Redacted Society at least have a advantage, at least in information
right.
against their opponents now. So maybe they can see a few game plans or a few set plays that we might not be able to foresee or something.
Right,
But looks like
absolutely.
we do have the maps coming in for
Ooh,
today.
here we go. Regame picking into Inferno, Redacted Society picking into Dust 2. I've seen a lot more Inferno games come out recently, which is actually a huge talking point. Is that Inferno, obviously you have to play it a little bit more passive aggressively on the CT side, be able to know how to play your rotates properly, as well as util usage. And there's a lot of dead space on the map. There's a lot of dead space towards alt middle that only is really impactful at the very start of rounds or into late game retakes, where it doesn't prove very useful into most of these fights. It doesn't really matter to most of these site takes. And as a T, you can completely abuse that. You can take over this map space for free. It doesn't have nearly as much impact as some other maps like Dust 2, where map control, yeah, it can be a little bit dead sometimes, but taking that space feels great.
Yeah, just what I see from myself, at least from these map picks, is it's just gonna be like a pug star sort of game
Oh
today.
yeah.
You really don't have, you have no nuke, no train, no overpass, no very higher level thinking sort of maps.
Mhm.
Just to say it simply, is this is just gonna be just trying to just pug star, and honestly that might be the best for at least two of these new teams, is just like, hey, let's see how our shooters shoot, and let's see if we're just at least the better aimers. And so that's going to be
Right.
entertaining to see, at least.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this one turns out. I mean, for these map picks, I mean, yeah, it seems basic on paper. It really does, but I kind of like seeing these basic map picks, because sometimes we're seeing a little bit too overcomplicated strats or some duplicate strats that we saw in both pro play as well as just higher level like tier 2. And when it comes to maps like Nuke and Train, you'll see the same set of utility coming through at times, or excuse me, not as much Train, but Ancient more specifically. So Nuke and Ancient, you'll see a lot more utility usage and everything like that. And some of the same things that we've seen time and time again. But on a map like Dust 2, where utility is yeah, there's some set utility, but there's a little bit more free flow to that. It's gonna really change the tide for that matchup, and I love seeing Redacted Society pick into that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a strength here because I mean, sometimes just the way games go, just
Mhm.
sometimes just calls aren't working. Sometimes, trying to, default into rounds. Sometimes you're just going to need a map where you can just say screw it, let's just run up B and see what happens.
Right.
So
Yeah. In just a few minutes, or actually in just a minute, we will be getting into the game shortly. The fake knife round is going on, where Redacted is going to be able to pick their side. Um, what do you think they're going to start on? I kind of want to know. I mean,
on
CT side seems the
on yeah.
more obvious, but T side is a dark horse.
Yeah, I don't know. I play in a Discord league. I'm very new to the game. I'm like I'm like base at 3. But
Oh,
I
okay.
I normally opt for like T side because we just have like a lot better T side. So I mean that's the
Right.
glory of playing, like T side Inferno first at least is you can establish how you're going to take control of banana first before your opponents do. So,
Right.
it's easier to react to how you were reacted to than to just open and go in blind to at least banana, and then just the way you control apps and just sending your lurks there and just seeing what ways they play will sort of give you an idea on how you can counter them in result on their CT side. So I mean, there's pros and cons to doing each, obviously, but honestly, if I was in their shoes right now, I would just almost opt for the T side. But
Yeah,
take that with a
definitely.
grain of salt.
Yeah, obviously take it with a grain of salt. But obviously, like you said, taking that space towards banana, being able to control that properly. You also don't want to get nade stacked. You want to be able to have your crossfire going. We are going to get started here for this first matchup: Redacted Society versus Regain. Here in map number 1 on Inferno. Started right on the full round. Redacted Society taking that side start. A little bit of aggressive mid hold.
And already finding the opening kill was Enzo here. And Trick will find their second of the round. Traded that out really quickly, and it's just trades all around. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
double there.
this is a great start. I mean, obviously Enzo taking that very aggressive mid stance right off the start. A double peek from Banana, only playing for the one-on-ones, playing close to the half wall from Secure, making sure if anyone rushed into them that they would have the right shot at the right time, but also managing to get the trades, everything shut down. Regain didn't get their foot in the door at the start of this round, and everything just got shut down really quickly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed that or not, but actually at the end of the round there, one of the CTs picked up a T-Molly, so they weren't even able to get any of their util out. Looking like they're trying to nade stack mid there, the CT's trying to block off this just block rush here. Looks like they're full saving for the T side. And so looking like maybe an easy mop up here. We got Trick in a very easy spot, but Dirty Dan, we're just going to steal all of his kills.
Hey, go for the ace right now.
Yeah.
Oh, boo. I mean, the
Unlucky.
M4 gets the kills. It's $1,200 to his pocket. I feel like if you wanted a little bit more value, maybe the MP9 gets some of those kills. But at the same time, if he goes down, it's better for him to have the extra money, for him to have the armor and full util coming through for this next round. But yeah, no bomb plant for Regain. That spells a little bit of a kind of a disaster. We're seeing 3 Galils into their hands, but that just beckons a little bit more util to come out.
Yeah, and it's looking like they're just going to throw this mid set of util, looking like a smoke and an egg going out early to help up. With these Galils, I think you're going to need to play this a little bit more carefully. Obviously you just can't swing around in one tap. It's looking like there's a lot of default utility also going out towards this car position. It's looking like we have 3 CTs. Oh, wow, they're already fighting for banana.
A little bit of a risky fight there. That was kind of risky. So Dark getting the first frag on Enzo and Secure making something happen. Gets one
and
frag.
Gets the info on that jump also.
Yeah, and with the frag falling towards the A site, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. So it's going to be a push. Dirty Dan's going to be the one under pressure. No util, but he has a little bit of an advantage playing on that default box. Good for the peak on the first, but cannot clean the second one. It's Marquis
Yeah,
being right there on the other side.
Yeah, I'm not upset by that CT aggression towards Banana. I think honestly that was a very good call. You know, it might not have worked out the way you wanted it to, but like just getting that just like that out in the open there and just seeing how they would have reacted was sort of nice because that was sort of your bonus round there. You already won, you know, pistol and the conversion there, so you sort of had a little bit of extra room to play with.
Yeah, but I mean, losing the third round is never the most comfortable position because obviously it's 1,400 loss bonus. The 2 players that fell in the conversion round are gonna be flat broke going into this one, as well as anyone else that had to buy into an upgrade or buy for their teammates. So now we're seeing a little bit of a damaged economy on the CP side. It's just a matter of how you want to play the rest of this one out.
Yeah, and I mean that was also a good move from the T side there because we saw that, you know, mid round or the mid utility going out easy. So I think that might have gave the CTs a little bit of a hey, we could peek this sort of idea. But falling on top of car is going to stop the pistols from rushing up, and it's looking like the T's are trying to take some of this banana control.
Good flash is secure, fully blind. Gets spotted out. Zukar's there. Another one on top. It's Enzo with the USP. Zukar will be ready for that one just in time. Yeah, damage down to 33, not much to really say. Obviously, the only thing that can really happen for this one is probably the deagle from Hibui, or Hibui. I'm gonna pronounce that wrong so many times. Yeah, not much to really say for the pistols here. Maybe they can get one on an exit. Maybe they can find one lurking. Obviously, Fuzenko's here in towards apartments. He's not ready on the angle, but still managed to get out alive for now. They can all change with a single pistol shot.
Yep. There's 2 CT players left to get through, just trying to farm up these ecos, mop them up. And so we're going to be on a reset board. Looking like 2-2 to round it out, but these CTs here did save a lot. I think the last player right here has like 1,400 left in the bank. This might be their opper. Do you think we'll see a CT op come out, maybe try and get a peak mid?
Yeah, I kind of hope we see a CT op come out. I mean, it's a lack of money as well. Again, they probably going to have an MP9 with some extra util to go through for a couple of their players. But that op would probably be a really big deciding factor on how they're going to play out the next couple rounds. Obviously, you want to play to the saves as much as you can. Probably play a bit more on the splits. Don't play for the rotates nearly as heavily this round. You just want to keep as many guns going into the next as possible.
Yes, but we do see this op being purchased on Dirty Dan here, so it's looking like we might be taking this mid. We're boosting up, actually. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
That would have worked if Fuzenko wasn't already there, that far pushed up into mid. It was Dirty Dan that had to immediately back up off the angle. And because he's under Balk, he's going to get pressured down to half HP, missing the shots, and nading the shots come through to finish him off. That's the op out of play. Now they have to try to recover this one somehow, but Fuzenko's going to run all the way up on the trick. Hibui cannot react in time, and that bomb is well planted into their favor. The op is gone, and now Redacted Society have to clean up the little bit of mess and save what they can on this B site, but Zukar's already putting the pressure, spamming through the smokes, and Sakir's down to 23 HP. This is such a problem.
Yeah, that was an amazing call right there from the T's. When they got that info of the boost, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" They must have realized they had an op there. Oh no, that was a disgusting push.
How did he live? 19 HP in the shots. Oh, there he goes. Enzo on top of the box again. Oh no, Zukar's there.
No, but yeah, as I was saying about that boost, I think that's what made the T's realize they had an op on the CT side. And when they were doing that, like in the middle of that boost and they got caught out, that's just when they're like, hey, let's just push them. They're going to get super worried. I think the opera got flashed, So great flashes there from the T's, and they just got, nervous out. They couldn't push back, and they couldn't, be safe, and that just gave the T's, so much room to just push in. And, even if they would have gone 1-for-1, they still would have had that sight, and probably a 3v2 post one. So.
Absolutely. I mean, the timing and everything was on Regain's side. Dirty Dan was not ready for them to be so far pushed. I don't think anyone on the CT side was ready for that excessive push, and it worked out very well in their favor. Cool. Here's a round that we have to talk about. Sakir's found a double kill. AK's picked up. He's got 3 in the round. 5-7's back out. Fuzenko finally cleans him up, though, but now we're down to a 2-on-2, and AK can still be recovered from Redacted Society, and they have something to go through for this next round.
Yeah, look how those turntables turn. Just not clearing the sandbag. Just, simply not just looking at somewhere just for 2 seconds, just that lazy clear, enables a 3K. And now you're almost sweating in your boots because now you're not sure what's going to happen. We have Enzo taking, bottom banana control, clearing out this, move with this AK. And so Dirty Dan's just sort of crouching in here. And this player's low. This could be a kill. Oh, no. But it's turned on. The headshot wasn't found.
Yeah. That's upsetting. I mean, the USP would have been lethal at that range, but Enzo is already here, very close on this retake. He's going for this one. It's a little bit skeptical.
And he gets
obviously,
jump spotted.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he definitely did. So now it's going to be a little bit more tricky. He's going to go on top of the barrels. Good for the first frag. Puzenko's in the middle of sight with the most HP, though. And no armor onto Enzo. It is doable, but it's still very risky. Oh, Puzenko on top of the box. Oh, he's got the jump, and Enzo wins it. Oh, my goodness. The B-side players found all 5 frags on this round. The picked up AK makes it work. And Redacted Society, a blessing in disguise.
What a beautiful round there, for sure. One little error just tumbles into, a loss to pistols. I mean, for the T's, you never want that to happen, but, I mean, you just sort of got to shake it off. Your economy here is amazing, but, I mean, that can't be understated how great of a play it was from that sandbags position.
Yeah, and that puts Redacted Society into a better winning position. They were already saving with just upgraded pistols on that round. Now they have an op, they have extra guns, and they had the money to work with for this round. So they have a lot more than what they really beckoned for, and that defuse meant the world to them in terms of their confidence. And here it comes, back to the B-side play. Secure gets the first before getting full blind, and Enzo's not there to get the trade in time. Oh,
what a transfer.
Fine too on the transfer, so it's still a possibility. The B-side's going to be overwhelmed in their favor, but Marquis is on the flank. He's from A. He found the first shot into Trick. Now he knows where another player is. Dark's going to be the one under pressure on the B site for the moment being.
Yeah,
he has an
this is not a scenario you want this op in. There's too many angles you can get pushed from here. So your T-side player is going to need to help immediately. And he's just stuck behind the smoke. Dirty Dan. Oh, the first shot misses.
That's a problem. Oh, what? No. Okay, he was looking back towards that smoke. The little gap from the CT smoke actually worked out in their favor, and unfortunately with the missed op shots, it didn't spell a one-on-one encounter for Regain to be able to hold off this B site. It's Redacted Society back on the lead.
Yeah, and the T side did, sort of well, taking up that banana space. They mollied and naded that sandbags position, but they already jumped up on top of sandbags. And they weren't just expecting that at all. There was no flash or anything. Just the first player on top of the banana is just completely blindsided. They were able to trade out that 1-for-1, but that still, enabled them to just sort of rush and make a decision. And so that sort of led to the downfall, even with that lurk coming in the 2v2.
Right. So, less money to work with for Regain in this upcoming round, but they have all this banana space, so they have a lot more to work with going for this next round, but they're going to try to put the pedal to the metal, and Secure gets spammed out down to 12 HP. He's still going to try to play around side the CT cross smoke. Nothing's going to come fruitful for Regain as they start to shirk off that B site, and Marquis found an opening on that A site. Smoke off one angle, now you have some more space towards the other site. Here comes Trick, not ready on the angle. Marquis is going to be there to get the frag, and Enzo's going to try for the spam. He's good on the one on Fuzenko, but it's going to be it towards the A site as much as possible. And Zukar is still playing that lurk game properly. Well down to Enzo to just do whatever he can in this round. There's the flank dead, and he's still going back into A.
Yeah, I mean, 2v1 here, but you're on half HP already from that smoke spam coming in. It's going to be difficult just electing to walk through this smoke just straight up.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and he's on top of the barrel, but he misjudged the timing. He tried to go back up instead of holding the angle just a little bit longer, and Dark will catch him out.
Yeah. I think the CTs there were a little bit scared of Banana, justifiably. I feel like they've been caught out a few times there on top Banana. And so just, playing that super passive and then throwing that, block smoke super early, just sort of let the CT or the Ts to walk straight back into apps, and then just finding that double opening in apps and just completely cracking open that site. It's hard to win for the CTs there, even with, the left spams. And then even that lurker on B site just finding two already, and there's no safe space to save. You're almost, forced to go for it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh. Okay, Dirty Dan, what is that? Zeus at long range doesn't connect. The P250 does manage one, but yeah, I think there is again a little bit of a misjudgment. Okay, hello. Oh, what is going on? He's got the AK. He found the third. That's the bomb. He has one more to fight. Oh my God, he did
what
it.
a round.
He found all four. What a
Beautiful
shot from him. 2-1 digs to open up the round, and the AK spinning around. He had to do it alone, but he got it.
Absolutely beautiful. That's the second round already that they've lost to full pistols.
Oh my God.
Just 3 one-taps and then just getting that AK and just frying. That's an insane round there.
Oh my gosh, that's a heartbreak again from Regain. Obviously, losing against these ecos is a very devastating cost. Now you're down to a 4 spy this time around, but it's a matter of just how that impacts your mental, how that impacts your game plans going forward. But it's not going to matter for this frag specifically. 1 frag gone on the A site, as Redacted is just not ready for these aggressive pushes, these very fast plays coming through from Regain, and it's worked out on the A site twice.
Yeah, and I was about to say it's a little brave not taking a attack here just to calm the boys down, but I mean they just locked straight into it and just get right back to it, and so now they got an advantageous post plant position here. As long as these short players don't find any ground, this should be another round win for Regain, at least making this a 5-5 scoreline.
Yeah, half the bomb ticked off already. They're making their way forward for this retake, and they're going to lose everything from these crossfire angles. Dirty Dan, the op's good for the first. They're going to try to get away as fast as they possibly can, but Dark's already here. Top mid. Op shot's good for the second. Nukar, can you get away with the gun? You can't even get the kill. Finally, Ibui goes down.
Yeah, I think that was a good job of exploiting, apps there, just finding that one and just flooding into sight, getting that bomb down super quick. Great call from the T's there, switching it up. Let's just go straight fast. And, that Tech 9 is going to be dangerous against somebody who doesn't have, head armor or even just playing super close in there. So just, the passive least resistance found for the T's there, giving them their 5th round of this half.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a bully misjudgment from Redacted Society. That's the second time that you've won an eco round against a full buy against Regain, and at some point you have to do the math. You have to figure out what type of economy situation that Regain are going to probably be in. Oh no! The op's gone. Nobody else was B site, and one flash did the deed. But as I was saying, you gotta really piece that situation together. I feel that's just a little bit of a misjudgment, an overstep from Redacted Society on that previous round, and Regain are going to start to punish that one as much as possible. Now they figured out the pace that they really need to be going for the rest of this T half.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call was there for Redacted Society. I think the reason why they chose this is because it looks like they're on pistols MP9, so maybe we'll just have our strong piece of the opper just hold down B alone and maybe put all the rest of the pieces onto A, but as soon as they left their opera there on that island alone, he was just flashed and instantly dealt with, and that's just another round win for Regain. So, good call there from the T's, but I'm not sure what, and we're shooting at each other. But, yeah, the CT's just instantly rotated it off. I'm not sure what the call was that enabled that, but just left, your opera on an island alone, and then just left a free B site and just was completely, overran.
Well, one more round for the end of this first half. I mean, Redacted Society, you can make it a tie game or a 5-7 half. This is still a decent position to put yourselves in. You had a good CT half so far. Just clean it up towards the end of this one. I don't think you're really overcomplicating or sweating over this too much. Obviously, you have to deal with Regain going on the CT side next.
I see an auto shotgun.
Yeah, I do too. I feel that's not the worst play in total, especially towards apartments here. He's got the kill. Mark is down. There's the A site lurk dead out of the round. Now they just got to make sure that B site doesn't fall in the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, but we have, I think, a 5-7 and an M4 here. Just the only 2 players on this B bomb site, and so I think, and the 5-7 is so low already, and just gets cleared out. So now it's Enzo here with the only rifle in this round, finding only one. There's a Molotov, at least, to block the default plant, and the CT smoke goes away, and this MP9 player in church can get overlooked here now. 3v3 post plant. Oh, nope. 3v2, excuse me. only MP9s here, and that banana
Oh.
player's already found out. It's just this. They have to go for this, and wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult round. The 5-7 being low HP, getting flashed off the angle as well. It wasn't spelling for the easiest hold in the world. I mean, Regain, still a good half. I mean, they had some really big bumps that they really need to cross over. I feel Redacted can exploit that a little bit if they figure out their right pacing on the T side.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what they realized there is like, hey, I think speed's the name of the game. I think like the last 3 or 4 rounds there, they just rushed onto sites and were just able to get it for, pretty cheaply. So we're going to have to see how they play their CT sides if they want to keep up some healthy aggression, maybe. We see Dirk already, testing mid, getting that info. So maybe, a nice balance of, CT aggression here, maybe playing apps a little bit more active, or maybe playing for car. Maybe is, advantage they could have on the CT side for them.
We shall find out how this one's going down. Obviously, not doing what Redacted Society did on the pistol round and immediately pushing alt mid and banana. So it's going to be a little bit more of a defensive B site setup. Only one player there with a smoke. I mean, this is okay in terms of being able to play for the retakes. The kit can rotate back to the B side as soon as possible, so long as he doesn't die in Boiler here on this first fight. He's already low HP, so it doesn't spell too well.
Yeah, but that black smoke is keeping the T's in place right now, and so at least with that position cleared out, this is a little bit of an ugly fight.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Please trade! Oh no! Uzenko missed way too many shots, and no trade's gonna come through. That's just devastating. And that kid is still on low HP on the A site, so
yeah, but at least that's where the CT advantage is. Ooh, with the smoke spam? Oof.
1 HP.
Nearly.
There's no way you're going for a ninja defuse or a late defuse at any point.
Yeah. Not the prettiest of rounds we've seen yet this far.
Yeah, definitely not.
But yeah. Maybe Sasha can find a lucky one tap here, at least get it a 2v2. This kid's still in play, and it's looking like Zukar is going to, press the front. That's the kit gone, and that's the second player also dealt with. So, pistol round converted for Redacted Society there.
This is a weird round to talk about. I feel like Regain, they had an initial setup that they really trusted at the start, but Sasha trying to play for that fight, not finding what they needed to, and way too many missed shots towards bottom mid there, even cutting off a bit of the rotate against Redacted. They had the right idea, but they just poorly executed everything. They didn't have the shots that they needed to. They didn't trust themselves on the aim, and they're going to try this pace again, rushing down mid on USPs. Back 10. Get some damage done. Oh,
it's more ugly fights, I will say. Uh-oh, this Mac 10 is super low HP now.
Yeah, Sasha's dead. Kuzenko, Deagle gets 1. They could find 2 more, but they're gonna leave. Yeah, they're gonna leave.
Yeah, going back to that pistol round, I think because like the CTs did find that apps lurker already quick, but I think the problem is with that bottom mid. And like those banana fights, that made it really scary for the CTs, and that made it easier for the T's to like, hey, they're kind of worried. They're chasing us, already from bottom banana. We can just get an easy shot A. And so, just a little bit of a, like, sort of missing your fights there just gives the T's a lot more of an easy pathway to, like, their best site that they can push. They're like, if they're already down mid pushing us, and we killed those players bottom mid, that just leaves A wide open. And so, those kind of fights are especially important to win because you're already committing to chasing them down, and that leaves one of your sites weak. And if you aren't able to close those gaps easy, that's going to be a big problem there. But Uzenko able to save this Galil at least into the next round. Maybe they'll drop those off to one of our banana players or something. And we can roll into the rifle round.
Yeah, 7-7 for the score line, so this is going to be a very close map 1 already. Gosh, I think Regain, just kind of a hunch. I feel like they're going to have a different type of playstyle going into this upcoming round for the CT side. Yeah, they're going to try to play it a little passive aggressively. They're not going to overtake too many spots at the start of this round. But the moment that Redacted Society make noise or make presence towards one side or the other, it's going to be a full-on bloodbath fight that Regan are going to try to push through everything, blow open smokes. It's going to be a different situation.
Well, the tees preemptively smoked off barrels, so they wouldn't get mollied off from there. But it's looking like they're not confident enough, at least, to push up into this car position. So it looks like we're gonna reestablish a default here for the tees right now. I think they're trying to maybe look for an opening pick or something. I think the initial call was to just see if they could barrel up towards B after the initial util dump. But it looks like we're just going to keep 3 players here. So we're going to grab walk almost up towards car to clear this out. And we're going to see how these B site players can hold this down.
Yeah, I mean, they still have one of their smokes remaining so that they can be able to use at this point, but it doesn't hold off for the late round push. 30 seconds on the clock. It's going to be a matter of, can Redacted Society be able to smoke off the choke points and isolate the fights perfectly and just trust each other? And that's what they're going to bank off of.
It looks like we're still keeping, it's like we have one player still in apps, maybe that can find somebody over, and then we got these 4 players in this banana position. I think this block smoke is cleared already, so now they're enabled to at least take their initial fight. CT's not looking smoked. A little bit of a late smoke on that CT, and Enzo will find the CT player without problem. I'm surprised nobody tried to peek into that to help him out. But these B players are doing amazing hold from the B players.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry,
yeah, no,
sorry I
good.
doubted you guys.
Yeah, no, so this is a bit of a different spot. I mean, I saw what Dark and Enzo were fighting for, and Enzo ran out of ammo way too early on, so he wasn't able to take a good fight afterwards. But Zukar was able to hold off on the Coffin's angle and just isolated one-on-one fights. Fuzenko was completely overestimated, just nobody expected him to be there, and that's going to be Regain getting a really promising round. Redacted Society going to try to recover this one as fast as possible.
They're off the force here.
Yeah, pre-smoke top banana, not gonna work out very well as they didn't find. Okay, well, hold on a second. They lined up, secure from both of them.
Yeah, that what makes that smoke on the half wall so nervous, because some people love to just sit on that corner on that half wall, and there's a gap in that smoke where you can easily find some overcommitting CTs, and that looks like exactly what happened. That Mac 10 finding a double and making this very nervous for the CTs. It looking like there's only one single player left on this B bomb site, but I think the T's are reading this wrong, walking into the stack, and that doesn't help them out. Now they're sort of forced to go to this A site. Maybe they could do a CT wrap to B, but they still have man advantage here, and it's looking like I'm not sure what smoke was that. Maybe that was a fake out smoke that is going to make them look towards short. I think that's the plan here.
It's going to buy the pit attention, so Marky's going to be the only one to fight for the Dark side. Good on the first, and underestimates the second one. Running shot from Dirty Dan. It's Dark under pressure, 33 HP. He can take out Enzo. Now it's just Dirty Dan. He has to find this fight before the CT rotate comes through, and he's going to take the fight, not finding the kill yet. Sasha's finally there, and Regain will hold off the A site.
Yeah, great play from the site player there, knowing that your pit players are already watching apps or short. Even with that, smoke trying to, fake out the CTs there, you're still holding the angle. You're watching out for, library. And then, just the T's walk straight into your crosshair and you're able to, collect them. And, you make it nervous for the T's because, the best thing the T's can do is get that bomb plant down and make the CTs nervous about, it going off. So just holding off, staying alive, making sure these T's have to take the fight instead of just, be safe and plant bomb. That's great here. So, see an attack coming out for Redacted Society. It's looking like they're super broke here. I think maybe the only thing we can get a deagle on, one of these players, but that's about it. I mean, these T rounds have had advantageous, positions. I think they've had a man advantage here or two, but they haven't been able to actually convert onto those. The site holds, have been too strong for Regain here. Just at 2 players easily finding, all 4 or 5 players, and they're just not able to, accurately or, best find a way to win rounds after actually getting those initial, openings. So hopefully definitely. We see an adjustment here too for Redacted Society, but I mean, it's been Regain all the way for right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously the eco being a big problem for Redacted Society right now because of lack of bomb plants over the last 2 rounds. It's the biggest problem that they really have to go through is how to get into a site, lock down the site, at least for the bomb plant, and then play your post plants. Because I feel post plants are going to be the easier situation than these late round takes where you're not finding the entry frags that you need, and Regame playing very passively until you get into sight. And that's probably the biggest problem that's going through for them.
Yeah, and I mean, let's take that B play for example. I think we had a very late CT smoke. One of your players is just spamming that, and they do find the kill on that CT player. But I don't think I saw any mollies, for backside clearing out dark. There wasn't like a coffin smoke or anything. Those two players were just able to sit like orange box and dark, and just able to mop up all the T's that were running in. So maybe a bit more util being used on the the T side here, maybe to better clear out sites, not having cutting out the amount of angles you have to clear, and just hopefully getting 1v1 fights or 1v2 fights that you can easily mop up and trade out. But it's looking like we are in a tech pause. Dirk is not in the server right now, so
Yeah, I could. So the start of this tech pause was audio issues on the side of Redacted Society. It seems that Dark now disconnecting. It seems that they're probably going through a little bit more of tech issues on both sides. I think Redacted Society is good now, so now they're just waiting for Regain to, clean this one up, figure out their tech issues, and Dark is finally back in the server, so it should be just a moment before we get back into the swing of things for this one. But in terms of this round, I think Redacted Society, rip away as many guns from Regain as you can. Try to balance out the economy so that your next round is a little bit more favorable.
yeah, and I think that's going to be definitely a good game plan. Hopefully you're going to conjure up something, find something that you can do in this next gun round here that'll help you out.
I'm a little bit worried for both these two teams right off this start. Both these teams have not called a tactical pause yet, really, figure out their situation, how they want to play this one out. And Redacted Society are having a nice little lunch. They're having dinner right now,
It appears to be.
They just need to take a breath, take a good long breather, confuse Regame while they burn their utility out in the next 30 seconds some odd.
Yeah,
See if Trick can make
let them drain their util. I think they're probably using this as a pseudo tac pause here, just letting your guys calm down, letting some discussion happen on what's going on around the maps, because honestly, the score is very close, but like from what we saw, I think Redacted Society won like 2 rounds where they just had pistols, and I think that was just individuals just having crazy plays. From what I've seen, the team play there hasn't been actually the best, So maybe getting everybody back on the same boat, seeing what can be done, and just maybe taking the next full gun round here by storm.
Yep, we see 2 more smokes laying there towards the B site, but they're playing passive aggressive, so they don't need to throw these smokes too early. Finally, the first one comes through, flash as well. 30 seconds on the clock, Redacted Society. You have to make your move sooner than later, but you have an A stack from Regain on the other side. This is just waiting way too long before they do anything in this round. Sasha's only good for the 1. That's something else. Finally, Marquis gonna pick up 2. 15 seconds for Sakir to effectively die before time runs out.
I was about to say that's sort of their goal in that round. You kind of gotta, all right, boys, it's time to die. Just start running out of sight. When you have pistols, because you're not saving for just to live after time. So
right.
Just sort of time to see what they discuss. Ripping right into this next rifle round here. These the CT economy is not as strong as it looks. I think they got one good buy here and maybe a half buy if they're able to come through. Oh my lord, what a shot!
Yeah, that's good timing. Trick managed to find the shot onto Dark, fully blind. This is actually, I think this is the first time Redacted Society have gotten a blind kill from a really good Regain pop flash. So it actually betrays them this time around.
Yeah, but look at these B players. They're already experimenting down banana.
Oh!
Oof.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, both of us on the same page there. The Marquis
Maybe Dirty can find something here. Yep. All right, Dirty at least will find one cracking open this A-bomb site. But look at these B players. They're already in mid. They pushed down, banana so fast in this initial round that they're barely going to get bombed down in time for them to fully get post plants positions here, and it's looking like these CTs are just going to elect to both come from apps here. So maybe if we get this, pit position, fine. Looking at the CT util, you have a molly, so I think this pit player might be surprised there, just getting mollied out, and we're going to have to rely on, Dirty Dan maybe to help Enzo out here.
I mean, kind of a awkward spot. Obviously, if Enzo oversteps, that's going to be a bigger problem.
There's that molly.
Now, Dirty Dan, he has his sight on the bomb as the bomb starts to tick, but both these players have kits. So you got to find the first bite at the right time, but Zukar is going to be prepared. 21 and 10 for the man so far.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was in Dirty's shoes there, I mean, take this with a grain of salt. I mean, the time was ticking there. You had the time, sort of as your friend there. I think that he had about 15 seconds-ish left on that bomb timer. You could have sat there and just spammed that smoke as soon as it got down. Elected for the fight and wasn't able to win that one. So, and we're just ripping straight into another round. No tack or nothing.
Yeah, just going right into this one. Obviously, Redacted Society now have a full set. They have AKs and a Galil with extra util. They're not banking too much on playing around util for this upcoming round. I feel like this is going to be semi-fast type of round. Obviously, Dirty Dan taking out the round, which is a big problem right off the start. It's one of the pretty crucial guns. And Enzo also following suit. And finally, Secure... Spams are really good. They're getting spammed towards the B site. They managed to get one frag each time. Yeah, they get one frag each time, but then both of them peak at the same time and just line up.
Yeah, it wasn't a good flash. It wasn't effective, but that still let them spam that through. Even getting that kill onto Dirty Dan with that AWP early in the round, I think just that gave you a little bit too much confidence holding this top banana position. And I mean, you dodged that flash and were able to get him, but then you just get spammed out through those smokes, getting a little too aggressive, getting a little too excited, and that's where mistakes are made. So 3v2 post plant, and Trick is caught running from top banana, and Dirk finds one from CT with his AWP. Now it's on to insta-traded out.
I have something to say about this round. This was kind of a weird spot. Trick heard Sasha run occasionally and walk down mid at some point while going for the banana flank, and Trick was holding for lane for so long he never tried to turn around, tried to get the frag before he got out of LOS, and by that time Trick completely lost sight of where Sasha was, and that gave away his position, and that's a blunder.
Just knife out in that sort of position, just coming back from banana. I'm not sure what the case was there. And no tack again. We're just ripping straight, regains on that point here. Enzo takes a beefy nade to start this out. 2 players already on 65 HP. They heard that AWP though, top of banana here. So maybe they'll get a little overconfident. Yep, the car player gets cleared out.
Ooh, also really good nade in towards apartments. 2 of those players taking a pretty decent amount of damage as well. So all of Redacted Society are within a reasonable kill range. A single M4 headshot, a leg shot with the AWP will be able to fit the bill.
Yeah, Trick pulling a rabbit out of their hat there, clearing or lurking through that smoke to find one. And so, I mean, all these players can just get like headshot or something from an M4, but they're still super low. And the CTs don't know this. They're just looking at a 5v3 right now. But bombs in T apps right now, so that's looking like it might lean towards this B site. As we have, Mark coming around, clearing out this apps position, so they can call at least, apps clear. Maybe let these CTs player know that they're about to get, peeked on here. Yeah. Oh, this is a double op setup here on this B site hold here. This could be interesting to see.
Dark will be the first point of contact, fake out that there might not be a second op holding that right side. Dark gets smoked off, missed shot. Now it's an opportunity. Puzenko doesn't hit it either. Finally does connect one, and Enzo's gonna run right through the molly. Oh man. No! Dirty Dan's fully dead. 15 seconds on the clock. They managed to clear out Dark, and now the bomb gets planted in their favor. 1-2. Low HP on the both of them. Ooh, Marky almost already finds a spam on the Secure. Gives his information away. Now he has to play this one a little bit more carefully, but that smoke is going to last for a very long time.
Yeah. And the reload just signals that he's not going anywhere soon. He's still looking to fight for this. I mean, match point. Maybe these players are low. This could be scary here.
It's scary.
Swinging wide from the CT.
Ooh. He could have isolated the fight and gotten Secure right off the bat, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that was looking dangerous for the T's there. I mean, they just ran right through a smoke and a molly. I mean, one of those players was so low, they just died as soon as they hit that molly. But still managing to close out, find the duels there, and actually, converting a post plant position is what we like to see, and having a successful, site hit. So good things coming up from this Redacted Society, hopefully. But I mean, even with that eco damage, we got a Mac 10 on Trick here, 3 AKs and all. Double nade down banana. But look at these CTs. 4 MP9s in a single rifle.
I'm scared.
So,
I'm scared. This is scary, but Brzenko's gonna get mollied out of position. Redacted Society have the right util at the right time to hold them back. But now they're taking top banana space. The flash is over. Sakir played the anti-flash, and Enzo's not there for the trade. So it's a one for one.
I mean, yeah, you definitely take that 1-1 though. Now you can pick up that AK, and now it's a lot stronger for these CTs here. Black smoke on top banana there. Allowing your players to just take control card, just put your foot down and say, hey, B's not open right now. Letting your players rotate over to A. MP9s are actually a very good thing to have here on this A bomb site because of how many ratty angles you can just play with these. Not having to play your normal positions with rifle, but it's looking like they're going to flash out into this mid site. Finds the boiler player. That's bomb dropped onto mid. Oh, but Dirty Dan will find the kill with that. Doesn't expect the second player here.
Oh,
and Trick
God.
is the better man with the SMG here, at least trading that out. 2v2 right now. We still have the only rifle brought into this round on Dirk here in this A-bomb site. Hopefully they just stay tucked. I think their head was found. No, it'll be Trick's head that's going to be found from Dirk. And there's 1v1 on site. And Dirk will close that out for Regain. Taking that first map 13-8 on Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty convincing second half for Regain. I mean, we definitely saw a different play from Regain going into that second half. They managed to pick up the rounds on CT side, but I think Redacted Society kind of fell back a little bit from what they really, I guess, needed to be at for their T side. I think that there were so many times that they just weren't able to clear it out, that they weren't able to really just take those fights properly. And Regain just had their CT side locked down. They looked really solid. And it's just kind of a telling story going into the next two maps, really.
Yeah. From what I saw there from Redacted Society, it looked like their individual play was there. I mean, they won 2 rounds just off of pistols alone, just by one player having, an insane highlight. But when it got to the T side and in the more, strategic team play sort of aspect there, that's where they sort of struggled. Their site takes were nothing to, be too, crazy for there. Not a lot of mollies placed where they probably should have been, or, a little bit more util that should have been there. I think one of the only rounds they actually had a post plan or two was, I think, just twice on that B bomb site. I think the rest of them either were against pistols or they just weren't able to close it out, period, on that T side there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough story. It's a very tough story. With Dust 2 coming up next, it's kind of be interesting. But on that note, before we get into a short break, we want to also thank our sponsors, SEL and Click. Crossfire is being powered by SEL. You can run 24/7 training servers on their website and review matches in 2D replays and build a real structure into your gameplay as a team, as well as team finding. Whether you're grinding alone or coordinating with teammates on SEL, they have all the tools that you need to be able to elevate your game. So if you want to take a look, head over to sel.gg for more information and be able to start a bit more of a exciting gameplay style. Map number 2 coming up soon. Dust 2 will be our second map for the picked by Redacted Society. I guess, what are your first thoughts before we go into a break?
I'm excited to see Dust 2 because at least this is a map where individuals can shine a lot more than Inferno. Because at the end of the day, if your site holds or retakes or aren't the best, then you're just gonna struggle on Inferno. But Dust 2 is a different story. I mean, if you get a double opening on long, or your lurker finds 2 in tons, I mean that's gonna change the map a lot more than a small little sort of section than Inferno. So at least with Redacted Society, I think that's where the benefit will come in from. And then, we're going to have to see what happens from there.
Yeah, so on that note, we will be back for a short break for Regain versus Redacted Society. Map number 2 coming through. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to map number 2 for Crossfire Season 3, coming right up. Dust 2 is going to be our second map, hopefully not our last, as Redacted Society picked into this one. Regain managed to win out map 1, 13-8 on Inferno, but we have a little bit of a different story coming through for this one. I guess, I asked you before, first thoughts going into Dust 2, but we also had some time to talk beforehand, like during the break. I think map 2 is going to be a lot different, as this is Redacted's pick. I think they're going to have a little bit more formation going into this one, a little bit more strats to come through for this map.
Yeah, maybe a few plays in mid, clearing out mid. Maybe you're flashing your friends into tons, clearing that out. Maybe just, hopefully shrinking the map, at least if they're on CT side when Redacted Society get there. Maybe, shrinking the map, figuring out where these T's are early. But it's looking like we're going to see Redacted Society on the T side early, and they're trying to push up into this mid spot, and they're just going to walk away for free there. So
yeah, I mean, a little bit of damage done, information as well. I think Redacted Society were setting themselves up for outside of long and outside of mid, see what Regain we're going to try to do at the start, and this is exactly what's happening. Marquis does find the opening headshot onto Enzo, which is going to cause a little bit of a problem. Now the late long take. Wait. Look at Car. Oh my gosh. I remember this one.
It's the thing. Oh my god.
Between the legs. The first shot was beautiful nonetheless, as Zukar's going to try to find a little bit more. I think Trick spotted that out, so now they have to be wary of the situation. Dropping off the car because of the CT flank. That's going to work out in their favor. Zakir's found 2, and he can open up a little bit more. It's a 1-1 split for the CT defense. 1 towards B site, 1 on A car. Ibui, can you clear out car? You have the opening. The smoke of CT is down.
Yeah, but that lets this car player at least. Oh, never mind, he was spotted. Oh wow, are they both? Ooh.
It's just down to Sasha. CT spawn.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity.
Has the dualies though.
Yeah, he can isolate the one-on-one fight. Oh, he spots out
spotted out already.
This
Chasing these kills. Staying alive. They haven't. Yeah. I think 2 bullets for each of these T's might do it, and that's the headshot on the first. The last playing towards Cat.
It has to be a 10-second.
No way they
can make it off.
Yeah. Going for the fight here. It's just 1 or 2 bullets that has to be done.
Uh-oh. We've fallen for it. Knife in the smoke. Oh no! Out of ammo of the dualies. Sasha goes back out. He's at 1 bullet.
Oh my gosh.
No way! He doesn't have to cancel the rounds over.
Sasha, man. Playing like simple, but unable to actually get the bomb defused here. So it's Redacted Society with that round win. I was super nervous for Redacted Society. They lost an opening kill with that missed smoke there. I don't think that was a good smoke there. Able to find your Cat player off early. And then with, the goofy stuff going on to Car, just, shooting between the legs. I totally thought Regain was just going to style on Redacted Society there. But look at that round win there.
That was pure chaos. I think the shot from Hibui in towards CT mid was actually really perfect to break up that Car defense. It took the player on top of Car off it, and then it just left everything completely exposed. It was up to Zakir to get the double kill, and it opened up the site, but that was extremely risky with the dualies from Sasha, because, you have the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yep. And Trick will find the lower tunnels player there already, so at least giving a 5v4 for the T's here against this CT force-up. It's looking like we still have the scout player in towards mid. I think we have an MP9 in CT, so I think leaning towards this B defense here. 2 smokes being exchanges right now on the B tons as the T's now decide to walk out of A long here. And it's looking like the CTs might just let him have this and just elect for a save per chance.
It's not the worst case in the world to be able to save on a round like this. Trick, he could get spotted out. He moved, and now he's a dead man. They're going to go back up towards the A site before Redacted Society get over through that cross. But that smoke already being there caused a little bit of concern.
Oh,
and Enzo gets spammed out. That's a problem, as now Redacted Society are man down. Sasha's going for more. He wants blood, and Dirty Dan's almost giving it to him, down to 23 HP. Finally, the bomb's getting planted as it's an equalized score, but still super duper risky for Regain. They have the opportunity to get back in. They're going to play for those upgrades with the FAMAS.
Yeah. It might flash through this ramp smoke here. One of these players are low.
Sakir doesn't get slotted out, but he's shot.
Yeah. And now the AK is known on the car. The last player's long. And now it's Dirt.
Oh no!
They can just
playing for him again.
No, it's not. They have to hear these footsteps though. Ooh!
That's the second time Redacted Society have played a post-plant, not planted for them. And if Regain had a kit in any one of those encounters, it would have been a round win for the CTs, just off a defuse.
Yeah, but I mean, that long player actually just making sure, just hitting that one tap instantly, closing out the round. That could have gotten very scary there, but just relying on that aim, just finding that shot right between the eyes will get them their second round against that scary force. So now it looks like
we're seeing a bit of a different pace. We're seeing them get up long a little bit faster in this round. Redacted Society, I noticed, was also playing very passively on their T side.
In middle.
Yeah, Regain are not. They're trying to put the pedal to the metal on both sides. Obviously, not overstepping when they don't need to. But Redacted Society are playing this very passively on the T side. They did it on Inferno as well, and I think it's becoming a little bit of a problem for them because at any point they can get sprinted down on. They could just get run over. And Hibwe, he's out in the open with an AK. He has to clean up a bunch of these mid-frag. Second one's good. Third one can't come through with all the dinks coming right through.
Yeah,
I think an opportunity.
Yeah, Fuzenko here with the Deagle could do everything here. Oh, but they're not going to give him a fight at all. Plant's safe there onto site and just gets it instantly cleared out. I think Zukar is just going to have to save this AK here. And Dirty Dan is... Oh, he just starts running, though.
Oh,
you don't want to do that. Got too excited there. And so now it's going to be a MAC-10 and an AK saved over for these CT players here. Maybe Sasha neglecting to probably just play for exit with this MAC-10 here. Maybe hoping to get a rifle off of one of these T-side players.
Yeah, you can buy up into this next round. You want to be able to really have a rifle. So the MAC-10 is collateral. You're still going to find another kill on
1 HP will find somebody. Noted.
Yeah, he does find the 1 dig, so he managed to get more done. And... I mean, just upgrade out of the MAC-10, give it to maybe one of your broke teammates, which is next to nobody.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe you have this MAC-10 in here for a reason. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just try and take some, tons control early. Just maybe push down from, lower tons. Maybe at least shrinking the map for your CTs here. But it's looking like Fuzenko will have the MAC-10. Throws that nade just in case anyone's suicide. And it's looking like 2 players here are going to hold down this B-bomb site. And Sasha's dead to an op. I think that was a long pick, maybe? It's looking like it.
Yeah, down on the long pick. He's instantly taken out of the round. He's been an impact player so far in the first 3 rounds of this one. 7 kills already, but...
Yeah, 7 2. But, I mean, on the flip side of that, we got, the... how do you say that? Hibwe on 8 and 2. Zukar is going to get found out again by them. And Dirk unable to convert the off shot, but Marku will find Dirty Dan, and now Dirk will dunk on him with that nade.
Here's a problem.
Set up for the T sides. Oh, but Fuzenko with this MAC-10.
Rick's dead. That was a low HP player. Dark's lurking through the CT smoke on low HP, so he can't be taken out instantly. But oh my god, he still found the shot. Fuzenko's already back into the B site, and I think Enzo knows this information.
Yeah, you just gotta sprint CT.
Eventually, you have to find out where the last T player was and not seeing anything towards CT as Enzo lurks right through the smoke. He gets away at the right time, and the bomb is going to get planted way out across the map.
Yeah, but I mean, 1v1 could happen to anyone, and we do have a hit here on Fuzenko. It's looking like Enzo is just going to neglect to play this on the ramp position. This is a good position here. This is a very nice post. Like, at least in a 1v1 scenario, This is a very good spot to hold. I feel like
no.
it's not
Oh,
that.
no.
Okay, I cursed him.
Yeah, you
Sorry about
definitely
that.
cursed him. I saw him going long, and I'm like, wait, now Enzo's in a rough spot.
Oopsie doopsie. I thought he saw the shadow too before it happened, but I mean Enzo just sort of just insta cleared by Fuzanko there, and Fuzanko's happy about that. It seems.
Yeah,
We'll find Regain the first one.
I don't blame him there. So Regain's first round on the board. Obviously, they want to be able to get these rounds earlier in the half, like they did previously on Inferno. They still have another hurdle to have to really climb through, but Redacted Society, they don't have the money to really support themselves. So it's a force buy versus force buy, with Regain just having a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, I mean this AK here could definitely do some damage, especially if it's on this, B-bomb site. Nope, it's actually on Cat. But we have, 2 rifles here holding this B-bomb site, not letting any rush come down. Cat and Long are being, held passively, and Fuzanko will find a smoke spam on the trick. Wow.
Yeah, these spams are starting to become a little bit of a problem for Redacted Society. Obviously,
He's
you want to
shaking
try
like
to get
we're on land, and we're a crowd.
Yeah,
you gotta
trying
cheer.
to get
Maybe we'll shoot it.
trying to get a little bit of an advantage position, but the amount of spam that Regain are putting through, Fuzanko found the second one towards upper tons as well. So Redacted are put in a very precarious spot. They lost their AK. They can be recovered into upper tons, but you're just running out of time having to walk between these angles. Deagle trying to take that first fight, and Marquis, he's tapping away. Sakir can't even find the shot. Only down to half HP. It's down to Enzo to clean up anything and everything that he possibly can. Fuzanko's already gonna try to spam at him. Everyone's gonna run him down. Enzo through the molly, trying to find the fight. It's a double peek, and Regain walk away with 5 alive.
Yeah, just that double getting found in upper tons there just sort of shut out that whole force. You just left your T's just sitting in middle. I mean, you had no space elsewhere. So as soon as you lost that, upper tons position, you were just, had your backs to the wall in that bottom mid. You couldn't really just do anything besides wait for the players to peek you, and you didn't even win your shots, after that happened. So forced on the Glocks here, just looking like a long rush here. Flash is good, but and spray's good. I was holding my breath there. Maybe something could have happened.
I mean, it is the Galil. He has a little extra bullets to work through, so he found him in the last 2. But yeah, I mean, one picked up gun. Flash is good. Regain are gonna walk all over this one.
Ooh, wow.
As they probably should against Glocks. 3-3 as the score.
Hey, I heard a dink after that round is finished.
I think that's just Regain being very confident,
Yeah, I mean, even scoreline here, so it's still anyone's game. Full rifle round coming back up, but yeah, I think Redacted Society has been playing a little more passive. I think they're a little scared right now, but look, there's like 4 flashes on the feet of Dirty Dan. There's no way they don't take long here.
Nick's gonna be able to dodge.
And Zukar will
with the
instantly find him.
Oh,
and Sasha's
no.
blind. Wow.
It's still a man advantage, but Zukar can isolate the fights between the smokes. Sakir was still spamming. Zukar spots that one out. 10 bullets still in his mag. Oh my goodness, he found himself
Car
a third.
does not care.
Yeah, Zukar's just gonna be all over
Ripple
this
for them. Yeah, and I thought I saw so many flashes drop there for them, and it's just these CTs just played anti-flash and then got their util out and then just won the fights. I mean, just spamming through that smoke, finding like the late player that was throwing those flashes out. Just a very nice, hold there. Now we got the op on Car. Nope, Dirk actually is not watching Cat here. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Dark was watching Cat for a little bit, but he turned back away. He wanted to play for long, knowing that the bomb was there. Enzo spots him out. So that's information on where one player is. He still needs to find a bit more, but he smokes into pit. That's a lot of information, and the op does not connect right off the start. So Enzo's still being careful because he didn't know if there was a pit player in the first place. Lack of information is kind of telling.
Oh, but I think the bomb's on taxi, so there's no way Enzo can get this.
Yeah, it's way too far. You have to climb back into sight and as well as fight through these 3 players. He's gonna run in and try to dive before time.
I was guessing that was gonna happen. No save.
I mean, on $400 on not max loss bonus, I would have saved actually. I would have gone back to A side.
I was a little surprised there. And I'm surprised they still did that because they were jumping around on A side. I think they made noise like 2 or 3 times, and they still weren't, peaked anywhere. The only time he gave up, and we have an AFK player in spawn. Nope, we're good. Nope. Anyway, but
It's not the first time I've seen it this series. We saw it from, I believe, Sasha in map 1 on Inferno, just on CT
Noted.
side. I mean, it's not so much that him being like super AFK, maybe he's just working through a tech problem right now. But that's actually going to become a little bit of a problem as here comes the push all across
no, it's
mid
not.
position. And yeah, I thought it was going to be a problem, and then Redacted got completely wiped with barely any damage. Marquis just doing his best, or Zukar trying to do his best to keep Marquis alive, but he is not going to be there for the fight. Regain 5 in a row on a very convincing setup, and Redacted to take their first time out.
Noted. Okay. I mean, there wasn't really much to talk about. I think it was just like a mid to A split, sort of just with Tech 9s, just sort of save round. But yeah, I think just these T's have been denied everywhere. They can't just rush out B. When they take mid, they just sort of sit there and just wait to get swung on, and they're not winning their fights. When they go out long, they're getting denied. So it's like, it's sort of hard to like, all right, where next to, guys? Maybe hopefully we might see a mid to B or something, test these B site players, because I don't think they've gotten much action. I think majority of the kills have been playing, coming from these long players. So like, they're not taking a fight, so they're just going to go cat and hold mid. So I don't know, maybe a mid to B might solve their issues, or just a little bit of a switch up, maybe. And it's looking like all these CTs are going to triple stack lower tons.
This is super weird. They isolate the fight for Trick, but he's going to throw a molly to get caught off. And now this enables a little bit of a fight towards the A site. They know that 2 of these players are still towards the B site, and they'd have to have a longer rotate.
Yeah, but they're not taking this super quick. They're still taking their sweet old time.
I know. Like. It's super passive. Oh, and the cross smoke is bad. Dark has a gap. Ends is going to get tagged through the wall, and it just enables them to be able to fight a little bit more. Sasha burned down to 16 HP. The Molotov on his the smoke on his position. Finally, he spammed out to death.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
and
time.
Op will find one.
Yeah, 1-for-1's with the Op, and Dak did have a man advantage. Both these players cat. Marky dies. It's just down to Presenko. Drops down to CT in time. 56 HP to his name. It's enough to get it done, but it's Hibui on Catwalk to finish off the round and bring Redacted back on the board.
Okay. All right. I guess there was a reason they were taking their time. It worked out in the end for them, so that was good, but a little bit of a strange play from Regain. I'm not sure sending 3 guys lower tons was the plan there. Especially with one of your guys just getting insta one tapped and then just the other 2 getting spotted out. That sort of left your A player all alone. But if it works, it works. It looks like Dirk's gonna take position mid with the op. At least trades out that opening frag found by Hacker there.
Yeah, I mean, basically a 1-for-1 trade. And Sakir managed to tap away Marquis in mid immediately through the doors. Zukar's going to try to go for a little bit more information. Dirty Dan with the op on the angle. Oh, he gets spotted.
The leg.
He didn't get any type of shot off. Zukar found a triple dink through the door, and immediately the op is out of the round.
Mm-hmm. Beauty of the A1S.
The beauty of seeing a leg before anyone else can be spotted.
That too.
Goodness. Here comes a long flank. Sasha's already here, coming from the flank. Redacted is still setting themselves up mid somewhere, trying to space themselves out on Cat and tons. But Sasha can crunch so much information here.
Sasha already knows that it's not a mid to B.
Oh my goodness, the timing is nuts.
No way. No, knife him. Ah.
I wouldn't advise that, especially with your B player falling down. Now it's a 2-on-3 on the retake. Mutil not there for regain. But they do have a flash to be able to send themselves over.
They're just going to push through the smoke instantly.
There's the flash. Blind, so is Hibui. Both players fall right on down.
Yeah. That was a good play there for a regain. I mean, finding that info early. I mean, Sasha, as soon as that mid to B smoke was thrown out, Sasha was already top mid and clearing it out. They were not spotted at all going to B. So it's like, well, I guess they're coming from tons. And so, yeah, just finding those isolated picks, getting those, man advantages early, and then just good flash on the retake, just double push out from tons, and just made it look super clean, super good. And that's exactly how you want to play retakes there on Dust.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously having the man advantage is a huge telling story, especially with B-site being a little bit harder for some of these retakes. It can be a bit more of a challenge. Beautiful flashes to start off. Sasha gets a trade on the Trick, but here he comes running. It's going to be Hibui to try to get the pickup, but he doesn't find Sasha out in the open just yet. But that's a great lurk smoke, and Dark is going to take full advantage of that.
Yeah. Oh, the op just barely doesn't find that team side player, but Hibui coming up. At least we'll get one instantly traded out again, and it's just going to be a brawl for this A site, it seems. Oh. Excuse me. I'm just going to let that slide.
Yeah, marking
the mid players found each other.
Yeah, marking towards mid, he has been a thorn and Redacted side in terms of mid control. Obviously, Marquis hasn't had like the biggest glow up in this series, but he has been a big problem towards this mid door position, playing his angles pretty well, in my opinion. Actually, just taking optimal fights to smoking towards doors, being ready for a lurk out from Redacted Society, and he's ready to punish when he needs to. But it's up to Regain to be able to pick up these late rounds off this one. Marquis alone towards the B site, and with him on lower HP, I don't exactly expect him to be able to fully like compromise for this push. I feel he could still get one and maybe get Trader back out.
They're just going to take the silent. All right, now they're throwing the mid to B smoke. I was about to say, there's a smoke and a molly on these tees. They'll throw the mid to B smoke. Spamming it out. They're going to waste that molly already in CT and then just, wow.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Marquis found both.
Yeah, the advanced position works out there, and they're just going to mop that up. I mean, this is exactly what I want to see, from your players, though. I mean, there's not one person on Regain that's in the negatives at all. Everybody's doing their parts. Everybody's playing their positions well. There's not one weak link that, Redacted Society can exploit here. I mean, this is a very nice, half from Regain. And I mean, even though it's, might be, 8-4 at most, that's still, a very good showing at least.
Yeah, and I back on Regain being fully positive towards the end of this first half. This is actually a very stark comparison to Inferno, where one of their players was actually only 3 kills into the second half, like 3 and 16. I don't remember who it was. I just saw the score. It's going to be a little bit of a problem. But going for this last round, Enzo immediately picked off. Redacted just haven't had the best of
This is
fights.
a 5-op setup. I just noticed.
Oh my, wait, yeah, I just noticed, wait. I just noticed too. I wasn't paying any attention to that. I was paying attention to Redacted Society's guns and scoreline. Regain have 5 ops for this round, and all of them have hit their shots so far. Hibui finally taking out Dukar, and
Sasha.
Immediately jinxed it. And Sasha missed.
The one person with Simple's name misses the op shot. Hashtag noticing.
45 seconds on the clock. Both these players within a reasonable kill range, and Dark taking a forward advance around side the cat smoke. Or 5-7 in hand. It's going to be a faster play from Redacted Society. They're not getting ready for this 5-7. First one's there. Second headshot's there. Regain 8-4 half for the first half of Dust 2.
Yeah. I mean,
shut this one down.
Yeah. I mean, they pulled out the Fnatic, just 5-op setup. And just that was a nice round to see. But yeah, I think Redacted Society is just having just a little bit of trouble. I think, I mean, you see 3 of their players in the negatives. Actually, there's just one player on their team that's positive, actually, right now. And it's just like, on a map like Dust, everybody, it's sort of like a spawn-based map. So, like, sometimes your entry is going to get shut down, but you need those trades to happen. You need at least, everybody supporting each other. You can't just, rely on at least one piece of the puzzle here. So,
Hat set up.
Dirty will find their first kill of the round.
Yeah, that's a good start. Taking out one of the players top mid, but here comes the lower rush. Enzo trying to get the frag, but it's Sasha with 2. Shakir still opening it up one more on the B side. Dirty Dan through the lurk smoke. Misses his shots, but still gets away in time. And the rush into B, Sakira's gonna edge the smoke towards the double doors. Zukar can get picked out before the bomb can get into sight. The bomb drops out of the way. Uzenko trying to recover this. First one's good. One bullet left in the mag. He has to be able to reload. Dirty Dan's on the push and finds the headshot necessary. Redacted. Deny the bomb plant.
Okay, that was a bit of a better round there. You know, finding those opening picks into mid. I think just getting two like clean one taps, and then I think Regain getting a little nervous on that mid push. Not letting the CTs lurk out through that smoke, and just getting a little shaky on the aim there. Just letting the CTs use the USPs to their advantage, just tap away on them.
Yeah, I'd say that both sides got pretty excited going into that mid take as well as the retake for smoke, and it kind of betrayed them a little bit. Enzo's trying for the mid aggression. The cat backup is there. Dirty Dan finds 3, including one on his teammate. And so long as Enzo doesn't die here, this should be a decent round. Marquis does pick up the dig. Enzo, don't get spammed here. Dirty Dan finds the shot. 4 kills, but only 3 count to the score.
A little bit of an oopsie there, but I mean, just a Glock round, nothing to count anything of it. So Regain, back onto the rifles or Galil's and a single AK. So this is interesting now.
This is all util. This is all util.
Because especially on a game on a map like Dust, you want your entries to have like one taps. And with the Galil, you can't really have that. You're a little bit more reliant on like sprays or just like holding stuff. So, not opting for like a super fast play that your entries can exploit here. Looking like maybe just take cat control a little bit early. There's going to be a molly to clear out those positions.
Oh, tricks forward though.
Yep.
Gets the opportunity to flash, but he turned away. Zukar's not blind. That's a problem. Hibwe goes before the smoke pops. Now the A sites are ripe for the taking. Dirty Dan has to fall back towards long, and this is going to become way too difficult for Redacted to get back through. Marquis does fall on the B site lurk. Enzo cleans up one, but Dirty Dan falls in long. He didn't go back.
Yeah, and both these players are both below 50.
Oh, and Sakir dies CT. Dark's on the hunt. He wants a little bit more blood, knowing that Enzo has to be on low HP. Only found 4 kills so far in this map.
And just letting little things spiral. That flash there onto Cat. I'm sure they didn't expect 3 players there, but one of those T-sided players there, right in front of the flash, able to find one, and then just letting that spiral. I think into a 3K there, just cracking open that A bomb site.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, it's an awkward spot. It definitely is. This is an awkward spot for Redacted. I'd say for Regain as well. But opening that first frag towards long is a huge grace. Now Trick is down out of the round. The only non-pistol or the only non-rifle in this round. Hibwe gets one, but gets spotted out towards the box. Mollied out, but he still found a shot. He opened up. He's trying to get back into sight. The flash is there for Sasha to be able to finish off the frag. And the bomb not going to be planted through the molly. Still could have been planted for long, but too risky. Oh, geez, that was a risky jump. That was such a risky jump. He picks up the kit, and he's going back. From Cat, I don't see a ninja happening. There's the smoke. It's definitely not happening now. Sasha's on top of the box. It's over. We lost Small Tidy just for a second there, just from a little bit of a disconnect. But here we go for this next round. Hui does manage the one deke onto Marquis. That's a beautiful opening shot. But here comes the B rush from Regain, taking over the map control per the usual. Zukar is going to just clean up as much of these pistol kills as he possibly can. Dirty Dan's already through the door smoke. He found the first shot. Sasha will be there to recover. But still, that was almost something.
Just a deagle and half health here, it looks like.
Yeah, still, that's still a force to be reckoned with. Regain already leaving the B site, and oh my gosh, the flashes from Regain are nuts.
Yeah, it seems like I was cut off there at the end, so of that spiel. I just wanted to say on the previous round that, yeah, just losing that fight towards long, and then just having your only A player just sort of isolated on that, Gandalf position, and then they get, cleared out there. They were able to shoot their way out of it, but there was just no help from any other CTs in the, area. They were able to just isolate the fights and just get that bomb down, and it just left I think it was Dirty Dan in a 1v3 and just unable to close it. So I mean, the individuals are here for Redacted Society. I'm just not seeing the team play coming out. I mean, there's been times where they've tried to do some team play stuff, I mean, with that flash down onto Cat, but you're still only sending one player out there for information, and they just get found out, and then it just leaves you in a 4v5. And it's just been hard to convert for Redacted Society here. Regain looking on, to get map point in this, following around here.
Yeah, and one thing that's really telling is for Regain, they're really taking the pace on a lot of these T rounds. This is something that they really learned from Inferno, and they adapted pretty quickly. So they're going to try for a bunch of these fast plays. And the moment that they slow it down, they're up now out of the round. They're going to try for this mid push, try to regain their pace, try to regain the map control. This is what's been working and what's putting Redacted on a pretty rough situation in terms of rounds.
Yeah, I mean, they've lost a man here on Regain, but look at the CT players. Two of these boys are already so low. Just a cough will take them down. So just electing to pause, maybe wait for an overreaction, because I mean that's what these CTs have been doing. Oh my god! Oh
right
no.
Time, right place. Sasha there. Dirty Dan, not
Enzo's
so much.
found out in the smoke.
Oh no. This is the problem. CT's now cut off on the rotate. Zakir spams too early, and he goes down.
Yeah, and it's a 3v2 retake.
They're not aimed for the retake immediately. Hipwee still on the A side. Regain looking down the barrel of match point.
Yeah, maybe this mid fight goes somebody's way, but look at the health. The health and the money, you just have to save and lick your wounds here.
Kit. Yeah,
so, yeah.
Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. This is a very far off situation. You have the max loss bonus going for you going into this last round, and keep the two guns in check. The op is pretty important. But Regain, they're setting the pace. They're really setting the tone for this series. It's looking pretty much all over for them.
Yeah, I mean, and the boys on Regain almost know it. Like they're goofing off with each other.
Oh no,
man!
Oh no, it cleared the side.
Oh no,
dead!
That's awful.
Oh, no,
that was worst case scenario there for Redacted.
Oh, that's such a blunder from Trick. Nade out in hand. He didn't put his crosshair on him and just turned behind him. Oh no!
And yeah, I mean the boys on Regain are just letting it be known. They're shooting each other with Glocks when the rounds end. They just got no reason to not be confident in this game right now. I mean, Redacted Society is not showing them anything to be scared of right now.
Oh, here comes Zukar. He wanted to be the entry again. He's 20 kills yet again on Dust 2. He's been such a huge player.
They're just letting these trades just completely spiral. It's already a 3v4 in the last round.
Oh.
Dirty can't even get a shot off.
Doesn't react in time.
No.
Here we go. Zakir looking the wrong way. Uzenko's already pushed the CT. Zakir's a dead man walking. The MP9 of Trick can't get even a single bullet off. Regain close this one out 13-6 on Dust 2 in a 2-0 series.
Wow. I mean,
unbelievable.
Just wow.
That's a way to end that. That is such a way to end it.
Yeah. But I mean,
goodness.
If you're in Regain's shoes, I feel like that's almost what you have to do. I mean, when you're that confident, especially on a map like Dust 2, when you're just having fun, all your shots are hitting, you're just having a great game with the boys. I think that's just what you got to do on that map like just keep it rolling because
Yeah.
you know Redacted Society really didn't let them not get away with it. They were just letting them have it. There
Yeah.
wasn't that much of a resistance found, especially on that CT side of theirs. They were just letting opening picks just absolutely tear them apart there. So
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of the biggest problem for them. They started off so strong for CT side Inferno, but Regain learned very quickly on how to play against Redacted, and Redacted just couldn't keep up. They really lost everything that they needed to. They lost their pace, they lost their shots, and it really showed on Dust 2 where it was just up to Regain to just start running all over them.
yeah, I mean, you got to give props where props are due. I mean, there's definitely players there that were, trying to hype the boys up, keep them along. There was individual plays there that were nice,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's a team game, and if the whole team wasn't playing together as a team, that I feel like that was the difference between Regain and Redacted Societies. I think just Regain was just way more team based. I feel like.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. They had everything that they needed to for that one. They played as a team. They played properly throughout this whole series. I loved watching this one in total. But for Redact Society, it puts them back at another step. For this series, obviously, one more week for the group stages before we get to playoffs pretty soon, actually. But that sets Regain on a 2-0. That puts them into a very optimal position. It puts them almost into a qualifying position, actually. No, it does, doesn't it?
Um, Good
I think it
question.
does. I think it.
Either way,
We had a situation
yeah,
last season where three teams hit 2-1, or I think it was three teams, and it put them into the weirdest tiebreaker ever. And I was excited casting
yeah.
one of those games.
I mean, regardless, you can't complain about being 2-0. So
That is true. That puts you in a very promising spot. Obviously, they're feeling pretty confident sitting in Group A, but yeah, for Redact Society, learning curve to go through for this. Obviously, a team like Regain that were A, playing by the books, and B, playing a very faster style, a very like puggy style, like you said at the
yeah,
start of the series. It really showed that they know how to adapt to certain situations and how to really work through them. But Redact Society, they have a little bit more to climb through, and hopefully they'll be able to get through that going into season 56 of ESCA as well. So
yeah. I
we'll see how
mean,
that one
they
goes.
got tape of themselves. They can, look back together on this, determine what's
Yep.
going on. But I mean, Regain was definitely going to be a hard team to beat, especially looking at the tenure that these guys have had, against, other teams and, other tournaments that, you never expected this to be, an easy game for yourselves. But I mean,
Mhm.
you had a very close game on Inferno, 13-8. So it's something to be happy about. So I mean, you can see this as a positive and at least a
Yeah.
nice learning experience here. So hopefully,
Mhm.
with this information given to you, you can see how you can, counter some of the stuff you did wrong and just at least use it for, some locker room tape.
I fully agree. I fully agree. Obviously, there's a lot to learn from stuff. Obviously, new additions to the active roster, but it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be something to learn from. But nonetheless, very excited to see how this one goes. We got some more games coming up for you for Crossfire. Obviously, we have the game at 9 o'clock that we can raid and host into. So stay tuned for that. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to SEL and Click for our sponsors. Obviously, if you want to join their websites, it's click.gg and sel.gg. So if you want to see what they're all about, make sure to join their websites. They love to have you there. And again, we'd like to see you here a bit more often. We got some more games coming up for you before playoffs start. Again, I'm your caster Storm, my co-caster Small Tiny Jesus. Thank you so much for joining us here
Thank you for
tonight,
coming along.
and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
ain't green. Just another day, but I focus still on the same thing. Us against everyone else, I recommend you change teams. Who the hottest in the city? We the top two. You said your music was litty, but that is not true. Just being honest, you should really just stop, fool. Matter of fact, empty no pockets, give me that watch too. My mind is wicked, that's why I spit it so hostile. Freaky girls in the crib, it's like I live in a brothel. All I spit is Leviticus, but I'm not an apostle. My nuts hang low, long and they colossal. Black trader black, she messiah to the misfits. Run circles, run these rappers to my shin splits. You a little late to the party, baby, I've been lit. If you ain't on the friend list, you better mind your business. Ooh, got the party jumping like crisscross. Ooh, got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Ooh, pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, ain't no time for pit stop. Ooh, got the party jumping like crisscross. Ooh, got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Ooh, pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, it's my strong.
Intoxicated, I'm a waste. Hoping I can drown the sorrows, but I love that bitter taste. So I'm addicted to you. Visions of you. Come closer, 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 closer. Come closer, 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 closer. Visions of you.